Hey everyone, and thanks for joining me. Today we'll be taking a look at Kiko Kostadinov's latest fall-winter show. So last Sunday, Kiko Kostadinov showed his latest fall-winter show in London, and it was very challenging, as it always is. As you guys all know, I didn't really like his last fashion show. It was very cool, it had some very cool pieces, but I wasn't really falling in love with it as much as the one before, the fall-winter one. So I was really looking forward to this one, seeing what he would bring new to the table, what new colors, etc. As you guys know, I give a lot of importance to colors. And in this one, he used some light grays, some eggplant purples, a lot of cyan blues, etc. And for me, my review is mixed. Again, I liked a lot of pieces in it, but some of them were a bit boring to me. But overall, I take it's a very positive show for me, and there's a lot of wearable pieces in it, and we'll be diving deep into it together now, piece by piece. Right, so Kiko cites his inspirations, first of all, from a 60s movie called Midnight Lace. It's a thriller about a stalker, and he based a lot of his clothes designs on the design of the costume maker called Irene Lentz, I think, for Doris Day, the main actress of this film. And it's a very dark film, and the clothes are very from the 60s, you know, long coats, very formal wear. And I think he took some of the colors too from that era. But most of this, to me, when I saw the show, it kind of brought parallels to Kiko's latest Last Macintosh show. I had a lot of the same colors, a lot of the same cuts, and it seems that's the way he was going with this whole collection. Then the other inspiration he cited was the 1997 original The Ring, or I think it's The Ring, Japanese horror film, the one with the woman who comes out of the TV if you watch her videotape, and she has the hair on top of her, in front of her head. I think that's the inspiration he used for the whole hair like this, and then he included a lot of black hair throughout the looks, which was a bit weird, but and then continuing on, it was a very classic Kiko show, to be honest. Very loose clothing, but very well cut. He's continuing very strong with this collaboration with ASICS, bringing it into the clothes this time. He also showcased new shoes, as he does all the time. We saw the ASICS branding a lot in the trousers, in the gloves. He featured kind of these baseball-like gloves he included in every look, and the whole show gave a dark, ominous vibe, kind of with the mystery thriller and horror movie vibes, but he mixed the black hair in the front of the face with the jewels, making it a little bit a contrast, a very heavy contrast. And as other news mediums said, it was a very commercial collection. Kiko's picking up a lot of traction lately, a lot of fame, especially with this ASICS collaboration. So a lot of people are looking at him, and he's a very big name in the London fashion scene, definitely, and worldwide as well. From what I saw, this collection, and Kiko said himself, was more centered around outerwear, and you can see it all. There's more than 5 different jackets, I think, but everyone is different. There's new cuts, there's new patterns and shapes. Especially he used some pinstripe shapes, and then some kind of zigzag corner shapes that I'll be sure to put here, but we'll check it out as we see the highlight looks for me from this collection, as well as showing new colors and new shapes and stripes. He also showed a lot of, I think, hair motifs around. There was a hair motif jacket. There were some stripes that were kind of hair-like. There's a lot of this hair obsession that there's in the ring and giving this macabre even a twist to it that I saw. And then over to the shoes, we had a few new shoes, a few new silhouettes. There was a lot of loafers. Loafers were very prominent in this show. And I think they're kind of coming, kind of becoming a trend now, I don't know. But let's see, you know, I think the loafers were a collaboration again with Camper, but don't quote me on that because I haven't seen it. I know that he made some loafers for Introduced by the River, his last collection, but there were some black loafers and some green loafers. They remind me a lot of Prada loafers, Gucci-like loafers, etc. That they went, they give a very different silhouette with this whole jackets that he was bringing to the table. Right, so now we're gonna check out, for me, my highlight looks. Pardon me if I'm looking this way, but I'm checking out the looks together with you guys. Right, so here we have this first look, right? And as you can see, the ring kind of hair piece that he made with a Japanese hairstylist, which has worked with the likes of Comme des Garçons and does some great pieces. I'll be sure to put his name here so you can check it out. Google him, he does some amazing work, right? And then all this hair was contrasted with this jewel-like beads that they were present again in the 005 collection with the bags, as is this jewel, kind of makes a very striking contrast, right? And then we have this full on, what Kiko does most of the time, he does a full look, right? The jacket and the pants the same way. You have these kind of, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. This white pinstripe, right? And across it, kind of like it was done with some claw marks. We have these highlights of hair-like material. I think it looks like fur, maybe some cow fur. It looks like, maybe it's not. And then all of this is accentuated with the gloves that are tonal again. And finally on the feet, we've got these new Asics sneakers that kind of look like shoes. They kind of look like bowling shoes, to be honest. Maroon, kind of a dark brown maroon. I like this whole look. I like the jacket. I don't know if I'm a big fan of the stripes, but it takes a very traditional look and it turns it into something very dark and macabre, to be honest. Alright, let's check out the next look. Alright, so the second look I wanted to highlight is this one, using that eggplant purple, which I like a lot. He made a kind of cape which has holes in it, very 60s. It would be something a woman in the 60s would definitely buy. And then here again we have those white Asics gloves, and then the cropped pants with those loafers. Kind of gives you a feminine vibe, but still being masculine in feature. Here, this one is one of the highlight looks, and for me, one of the most wearable ones. Here we have a blue cyan jacket, kind of cyan light blue jacket. On the sleeves, it has a kind of down jacket material, a bit like using from the Asics materials. I think both of the sleeves are different. So, and then contrasting, we've got maybe some wool on the chest. I think this is a very wearable jacket and will look very good in a few looks, and definitely something I would buy from this collection, 100%. And then the trousers, again, the tonal look, continuing the same look, and they look very good. They look great. Again, the black gloves, we've been seeing a lot of black gloves, for example, from Raf Simons last season. And then on the bottom, those dark, very dark green loafers on the bottom. All in all, for me, this is probably one of my favorite looks from this collection. Right, and then I want to highlight this look because for me, it's a very wearable one, at least on the top. That sweater is definitely going to be like the red Intarsia sweater, and a lot of people will want to buy that and that will sell that instantly. And then on the other hand, we have here some pants made of that hair-like fabric. I don't know how wearable those are. They kind of remind me a little bit of Comme des Garçons. I mean, it's a great change. It's very creative, it's very out there, and I like that it's very challenging in its nature. And for a more traditional look, I wanted to put here a look that reminds me a lot of Macintosh, his work in Macintosh. A simple two-piece with the pants and the top jacket, with kind of being a very light gray, contrasting with the gray, and again those bowling sneakers there. Again, a very good look. Here, I wanted to show you guys this one because it's the craziest one in my opinion. Here, Kiko, I think, was very inspired by Midnight Lace costume designer, because she did something similar to this. I'll be sure to put a picture here. But he made this suit bottoms. The bottoms are very baggy on the thigh and then taper down to the loafer, because if not, the loafer would not be the center of attention, and you would have something like this. And instead, here he goes like this, right, in an hourglass form, and then he uses this new pattern, which has some vertical stripes and then some zigzag ones on the knees and then on the chest. A very I think the jacket is pretty wearable, pretty out there, but very cool nonetheless. And that's it for the highlight looks. I suggest you check it out. After that, I wanted to check out the shoes together if we can. I managed to fish some pictures from Instagram where Kiko posted a few of these shoes. So here in the first one, we have these new Asics. They're black with some blue, and they're a completely new silhouette, absolutely. And they really remind me of bowling shoes. And also they remind me of the ones from last collection, which were the ones that were like green and purple, some very different silhouettes. Here in this picture, he shows the two shoes he put in this collection, the new Asics ones. They look kind of like wrestling boots. They remind me of the Salomon collab with Boris Vigensaberry. I mean, they look good. Would I wear them? That's the question. Always with Kiko, the first time you see something that it's a bit jarring, but then you see it on foot, you see some people with it, and it looks very cool. We shall see in the future what how these look on foot and on more people. Then here is a feature of that same sneaker I showed the first one, but here in the brownish maroon black form. To be honest, a big highlight of the fashion show, and a very wearable one as well. Again, Kiko, he's always bringing creativity to these collabs. You will never see the same thing twice for sure. And then here it's another Instagram picture I wanted to showcase. He used these hair motifs all throughout, kind of like the rain girl coming out of the bag or the jacket on the trousers. A very jarring image, and definitely something that evokes a very dark themes. And then here a little bit more highlights. Here we have the shoes again with the colors, and then here we have a big close-up of the loafers. Very cool, very classic. I think anyone could have these loafers in the collection, absolutely. Right, so that's pretty much it. That is Kiko Kostadinov 007 2019. Still name pending. I haven't been able to find the name of the collection, but overall I really liked this collection. Definitely it's not one of his best, but it's definitely out there of one of better than the last one and a few of his other ones as well. Definitely not better than 005, which is the holiest of girls, of course, here in this channel. I mean my name. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. If you liked the collection, if you didn't like it, why you didn't like it. If it was something crazy, great, and I'm being blind to it, or if I'm being too good because it's Kiko and it's garbage. Let me know guys. Anyways, thanks for joining me and see you next time.